Clark Kellogg. This is Kevin Harlan. Looking at San Antonio, they want to turn it around after the loss to the Heat in Miami.
Well, they were lucky it wasn't a blowout because they didn't put forth a very strong performance in that one.
Yeah, they just couldn't find anything to work for them, Steve. No matter what approach they used, it was futile.
So with Ginobili sitting on the bench, here's how the floor looks for Greg Popovich. Tony Parker at the 1 and Danny Green at the 2. Leonard and Duncan are the forwards. And it's Splitter in at the pivot, manning the middle. And for the Bulls, Luol Deng, Carlos Boozer, and Joakim Noah the front line. Derrick Rose is out there with Jimmy Butler. Here's Deng. Rebounded by the Spurs. Last time they met was in San Antonio.
You know, the Bulls have been a regular fixture in the playoffs since joining the league, literally. I mean, with the help of Michael Jordan, they have become, along with the Celtics and Knicks, one of the most storied franchises in the Eastern Conference.
Noah with the block. And they'll keep possession. Splitter, that's good. First trip to the free throw line for him tonight.
And, you know, with those numbers, he makes a defender hesitant to get too tight on him. I mean, he doesn't want to get whistled for the foul and put this guy on the line.
And with 6 banners hanging up in Chicago, the city has really cultivated a lot of pride and winning tradition here with the Bulls. And, you know, Steve, that goes a long way. You were a Bull player at one time. You know all about that pride.
Yeah, no better place to play in the NBA than Chicago. When you're winning, the whole city loves it. Obviously, Michael Jordan was the main reason for that era. But so much history now for the Bulls, and they sell out game after game. Unbelievable fan support.
On its way from Rose for 2. And that one's on target from the wing.
Boy, is he spit polished offensively. His ability to break down defenses is one of their driving forces.
Here's Parker. That 3 off the mark. Last game for the Bulls, it was a loss to the Heat in Miami.
You know, Tony Parker's not a great outside shooter, but he's gotten consistently better over the last few years. He's worked very hard at it, really improving his stroke, his efficiency as a shooter, and it's given him great balance between his inside scoring and everything else that he does for this club.
Here's Leonard. Passes it to Green. Parker kicks to Duncan. Here's Leonard. And Boozer with the block. And here we go. The Bulls fast break. Early shot attempt. Offensive rebound. Lets it go with a 3. And it's Butler missing.
Boy, with an open look like that, he is so gifted. Man, you've got to play better defense. Eventually, he's going to make you pay.
You got that right. I mean, he'll do it from three-point land or anywhere on the perimeter, really, because he is a deadly shooter. You've got to do a better job defensively.
6 on the shot clock. Takes a 3. It's hauled in by Luol Deng. We talked about Tony Parker as an outside shooter, as effective as he's been as a slasher. He hasn't really needed to shoot from outside that often.
Yeah, but as he starts to lose a step, he hasn't yet. I've not seen any indication of it, but it will happen if he continues to play. And he'll have to rely more on that improved jump shot of his. And with his savvy and smart, I don't think it'll be a problem for him to adjust and be effective as he advances in years.
And that one's good. Duncan. And the first time out of the game called for Chicago.
You know, for such a long time, the Spurs were looked to as an annual threat to win it all, especially with Tim Duncan in his prime. But the last few years, people haven't taken San Antonio seriously, but they still win consistently, night in and night out.
The Spurs making a switch here. Matt Bonner, he's checked in for Splitter. Diaw comes in for Tim Duncan. Manu Ginobili's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. And Gary Neal subbed in for Daniel Green.
Yeah, and he's been a player who always saves his best for last, Kevin. Absolutely thrives under pressure. And, you know, when some guys back down with the game coming down to the wire, he seems to be the one to take it up a notch.
And his attitude, Steve, just his general poise and presence is something else you notice about him. He's really a calming influence over that team.
Thinking about the Spurs, a lot of it just seems to be habit for them. Winning has certainly become a habit down in Texas.
Yeah, they have the players to compete, but by no means do they seem overpowering to any other team. Pop is a great coach, Greg Popovich, and gets the most out of them, and that's a big part of it, Kevin.
Chicago with the ball, following the three-pointer by San Antonio. Rose passes to Butler. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. Butler's got himself on the board with 3 there. Open look. Rose can't get that one to fall.
Shooting-wise, he's having a tough quarter. I mean, he just seems to have gone cold. Can't find the basket.
Outside, Ginobili. Chicago grabs the miss. Noah's got his 3rd rebound on the night. Dang.
An open lane right there. Pretty much saw the daylight he wanted and took advantage.
Yeah, great opportunity, and he seized it without much hesitation.
Yeah, a little too easy, if you ask me. The defense really needs to tighten things up here.
Your goals, 12. The Spurs, 14.
And the second quarter getting underway. No team gaining an edge so far. Guys, what's your take on the Spurs so far?
And the difference to this point has been defense. This club has really gotten after it, and that's what's gotten them this lead.
Well, there's nothing that's gone up that hasn't been contested so far.
On the court right now for the Spurs. And at the 2 and 3, Manu and Leonard. Boris Diaw is out there with Duncan, and it's Neal in at the point.
Well, you know, guys, my last season in the league was with San Antonio. That was Manu Ginobili's rookie year. And one thing you could tell right away was that he was absolutely fearless. Right from the beginning, he would want the ball at the end of games. He wanted to take the big shot. And so aggressive, so fast and strong, he could get to the rim anytime he wanted.
The Bulls making a switch here. Boozer's checked in. The Spurs also changing it up. Splitter's checked in for Diaw. And it's Green in for Manu Ginobili.
You know, down there in the low post is where you really want to create a lot of your offense.
And that aggressiveness you were talking about with Manu, really something that has, I think, Clark, defined Ginobili's approach to the game.
Yeah, I like the combination of all-out effort and hustle. But he combines that with tremendous skill, fearlessness, and also a really good basketball IQ. You listen to him talk about the game. He sees it really well from all angles.
Neal dishes to Green. This one for 3. That drops. Green's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3.
Incredible. Only took them a few seconds to answer the 3 ball with one of their own.
Let's keep this thing going, guys. I love seeing a three-point battle like this.
Bulls shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night.
One of the things they've done, guys, is taken pride in their free throw shooting this season, and rightfully so.
You know, sometimes teams don't age gracefully, and when your stars start to age, all of a sudden the team goes south. But the Spurs have managed to maintain a very high level of play, even with Ginobili and Duncan getting older.
Here's Parker. Leonard kicks to Diaw. The dish now to Ginobili. Kicks to Parker. Fires the 3. Bonner passes to Leonard. Ginobili outside. There's the 3. And that one's good. Ginobili's got 8 points. The Spurs have gotten older, as you've said, Steve, but, you know, they've made the most of it. And I think, Clark, that adds to just how smart they are. They're high basketball IQ.
Without question, Kevin. And the big thing you see with them getting older is that the top guys get rested more. They're not playing as many minutes. You saw quite a bit of that towards the end of last year.
Spurs leading by 5. It's Parker with the drive. That's good from Ginobili on the assist by Parker. 10 points for Ginobili.
He was really a non-factor in that first quarter. And he's found a way to step it up here.
Come on, Chicago.
As we close in on the start of the playoffs, let's see how the West is stacking up. Taking a look at Oklahoma City and checking out Chicago, tied up with them. And the Bulls making a change here. Gang's checked in. Butler against Leonard. Back to Butler. Good ball movement here by the Bulls. For 3, Heinrich. No good. Now San Antonio takes it the other way.
And you look at Bulls head coach Tom Thibodeau, considered by a lot of people to be the architect of the defensive philosophies that have been embraced by most of the league, and that is loading the strong side of the floor in the half court, kind of zoning up, basically, and then sending the ball handler baseline into help down on the block.
Bellinelli, he's checked in for Kirk Heinrich. And here we go, the Bulls fast break. And it's Gibson. Finishing it off.
Did you see that?
Oh, we got to see that one again, guys. We've got to see that again.
I need a replay. I'm not sure what I just looked at.
Well, Steve, going back to Coach Tom Thibodeau, our listeners might say, well, he's only been a head coach for a couple years. How could you be so influential? But prior to that, he was an assistant coach in the NBA for 2 decades and really built a nice reputation.
And whether it's in Houston or Boston, he's always played that key role in creating those stingy defensive schemes that he's known for. Obviously, he's taken those to Chicago now. The Bulls have been one of the best defensive clubs in the league the last couple of years. So Tom Thibodeau, no question, excellent defensive coach.
And let's step back for a second to look at the top shooting point guards in basketball this season. Tony Parker on top.
Well, he's been even more accurate with his shooting than he's been with his passing. Just a terrific percentage from the field for him.
And those shots aren't all coming from 10 feet and in. I mean, he's taking legitimate shots. I mean, it might seem like it because of his percentage that he's in close, but he's putting up those numbers from outside.
Ginobili outside. Three-pointer. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker. Parker's got 3 assists now in this one. Outside, Bellinelli, and that one's good. Bellinelli's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Heinrich with the steal, leads him in there, puts it up from 7. That's good from Dang on the assist by Heinrich. Now it's just a 3-point Spurs lead.
Now the shots are starting to fall a little bit more than they did in the first quarter.
Yeah, they say it's not how you drive, it's how you arrive in golf. Well, a shaky start can be overcome because now they're starting to heat up.
And Boris Diaw picks up the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Chicago making some changes. Noah comes in for Jimmy Butler, and Derrick Rose is subbed in for Kirk Heinrich. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Splitters checked in for Matt Bonner. Duncan comes in for Boris Diaw. Daniel Green, he's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. And Gary Neal subbed in for Tony Parker. And here's Neal outside.
Really good job on the inside that time. I mean, he had to work for that rebound. He got it done.
And the first half ends in a close one. Spurs lead by 1.
30.
And we'll be back right after halftime for the start of the third quarter. We'll see you in a bit. Well, both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out a way here in the third.
What a game for Ginobili. 13 points, and he's hit a trio of 3-pointers to give himself 9 points from downtown.
He's doing his best to stretch this defense out, and this long-range outburst bodes well for this club.
The front court, Luol Deng, Carlos Boozer, and Joakim Noah in the middle. Jimmy Butler is out there. With Derrick Rose. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago.
Well, the unquestioned leader of this team, guys, is Derrick Rose. And for such a young player to be so focused on winning and improving and teamwork is really impressive to see. He's a model for the young players around the NBA.
Chicago leading. Tipped. Rose against Parker. Leonard with the screen on Rose. Parker drives in. Backing him down is Duncan. Cannot hit. Boozer with the defensive effort. And you see it again and again with Derrick Rose. Clark, you know, he's the first to say when he feels he didn't get the job done. you know, it's his fault. He's his own worst critic.
Yeah, I like that kind of unselfishness and accountability with your leading player, your star player. That's important because it sets a tone for the rest of the guys. That character really rubs off on everybody else, and you see it with how the Bulls play.
Parker again throws. Parker dishes to Leonard. Back to Parker. Goes up and lays it nice and easy. Parker's got his first points of the game.
You know, if he's got the ball in his hands and the basket in his sight, he's going straight to the rack. Now we've got a moment to see how the Bulls are doing rank-wise in the NBA. 8th in rebounding, 8th in assists, and they're a top 10 shooting team from the foul line. Pretty good company for that team.
And the rebounding is really the key stat that I'm looking at right there with all those numbers you talked about, Clark. You know, this is a team that really tries to be physical, and when they're able to secure boards, that does a lot of things for them. It helps their defense, keeping teams from getting second chance opportunities against them, and it fuels their fast break.
The Bulls have made 2 and missed 2 at the line tonight.
Well, solid numbers for this club from the free throw line this season, shooting about 77% collectively.
Guys, that says a lot about the poise of this team. I mean, they've been so calm, cool, and consistent at the stripe this year. I mean, that's impressive.
San Antonio calls timeout.
And Spurs coach Greg Popovich, no question, one of the great coaches of all time, and a really interesting guy. I love the way he handles the media. He can be funny at one moment, surly the next. He keeps reporters on their toes. Got a very sarcastic side to him.
The Spurs making a switch here. Ginobili's checked in. Rose kicks to Butler. Pass to Noah. Back to Butler. Some nice ball movement by the Bulls. Down low. Ginobili outside. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker. Parker's got 5 assists tonight. And when you talk about the yin and the yang of Greg Popovich, you know, you have to say, Steve, he's done a great job over the years of being demanding, get what he, you know, needs out of the players he's coaching without causing much backlash. You know, the rock group basically polices itself. He'll get hard, even on the Tim Duncans of the world. He'll get very hard on him and coach him.
Yeah, he gets on all of his guys, and I think that's the secret for Popovich. Having Tim Duncan and David Robinson over the years as the foundation of that organization, you know, those guys are high-quality players and high-character people. So to be able to build around them and to coach them allows Popovich to coach everybody else as well.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Taj Gibson's checked in for Noah. Bellinelli comes in for Jimmy Butler. And it's Heinrich in for Derrick Rose.
Well, what I like about Boozer is his ability to score with either hand around the basket. He's also got that mid-range jump shot with the high arc that's tough to stop. So Boozer is an imposing player on the inside and an efficient scorer as well.
Well, he possesses a nice offensive skill set, Steve. I mean, he can make the jump shot, but also fairly polished down there in the low post with a variety of moves, particularly the jump hook with both hands.
Parker passes to Ginobili. He gathers. Chicago grabs the miss. Gibson's got 3 rebounds so far in the game.
Manu Ginobili, really one of the more unique players in the game. He's fast, he's quick, but it's the angles that he takes on his drives that seems to confound defenders. He just finds a way to get to the rim anytime he wants. Love the finish there. Not much defense, though.
Rose against Parker. The tip in on the offensive rebound. 6 points for Duncan.
Boy, a nice tip in to salvage the points from the missed shot and made it work.
It did, yeah. And those second chance points, Clark, they do add up.
Yes, sir.
They sure do. That's why boxing out is so important. Defensively, you can't just let a guy get to the rim and not put a body on him.
Dang dishes to Gibson. Left side Rose. The second chance effort. No good. Good D by Parker. That's a great point, Steve, about the angles. And you talk about Ginobili getting inside. Of course, his skill at getting to the line is so huge. A big part of that effectiveness.
Yeah, he's a master at drawing fouls. There's no question about it. Being left-handed and lethal at driving from both sides of the floor makes him very capable of drawing fouls. And some would say he even embellishes the fouls that he gets. And that's a matter of opinion.
And Heinrich with the basket, the assist by Rose. Rose has got 4 assists in the game. Ginobili with the 3. And that's not going to go.
At the end of the
Some impressive scoring, and we still have 1 quarter to go.
43. The Spurs. 43.
And the Spurs with possession here. So with Ginobili sitting on the bench, here's how the floor looks for Greg Popovich. Green and Leonard out on the perimeter. Boris Diaw is out there with Matt Bonner. And it's Neal in at the point guard position. Here's Diaw, but they get it back.
Now, second chance points are going to be key. They've got to keep this team off the boards.
And, Steve, any slip-ups boxing out can really cost you there.
And Neal kicks to Green. And another shot. Right up. And finally they hit one. Green's got the first points up on the board here in the 4th for the Spurs. Heinrich with it. Dishes it to Butler. And finished off by Noah.
Kevin, I think he's got to demand the ball. They need him to be more aggressive if they're going to take control of this game.
Neal passes to Green. He kicks it to Leonard. A 3-ball. Joakim Noah grabs the miss. Noah's got his 5th rebound right now in the game.
I like that foul. You don't want to give up an easy 2 in transition.
No, you don't want to give up a layup. Make him earn them from the stripe, and maybe you get a break and he makes only one of the free throws or misses them both.
When I think about Joakim Noah, the first word that comes to my mind is passion. The guy plays with so much energy and emotion, and that's really his best quality. He's got those long arms, he's a great rebounder, but it's how hard he plays that makes him so valuable.
Parker dishes to Duncan. Solid play on the low block, and that one's good.
Yeah, he's always confident, composed. Even under pressure, he just has a demeanor about him that you like if you're his teammate. He just feels like he's going to get it done when you need him.
That's right. And don't forget about his great outlet passing. It's a lost art in this day and age, but I love the way he gets breaks started by getting the ball out ahead of the pack.
You talk about that passion for Noah, a guy with a real joy for life. He doesn't take himself too seriously.
And there's a humility that actually took root, I think, after his first year in the league, Kevin. He says outright, I'm not the most talented guy, so I just have to outwork people. So when guys understand who they are and what makes them special and effective, then that goes a long way towards them being productive.
And Parker, here we go. He dishes it to Duncan. 10 drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker. Parker's got 6 assists in the game.
blocking foul, called on Tony Parker. That's his 2nd personal foul, 3rd team foul.
Spurs on defense. It's a 1-point game. No one near him. That's good.
The shot quality is very good here, and they're making most of them this half.
Oh, the way they're converting on seemingly every shot, I wouldn't be surprised to see their field goal percentage just keep going up.
And there's the feed to Splitter. Gets it to go.
I can imagine they're going to hear an earful about this next stop. I mean, that's 3 straight field goals given up right in the middle of the lane. Inexcusable.
Well, defense starts at the rim. I mean, you want teams shooting the ball from the outside, and that's not happening. They're just giving up everything inside.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Hi, guys. Over that break, I was able to catch the message Tom Thibodeau was giving to his team. It was a pretty upbeat huddle. He said, I'll bet they won't take us lightly next time, guys. Clearly, he was aware of their underdog status coming into this basketball game, guys.
The Spurs have gone 4 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the fourth. Working on Noah.
2 minutes, 2
Splitter inside. Chance there to take the lead. Missing. Outside, Ginobili. Tries to save it. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will take it. 1:44 left in the fourth quarter. Rose against Parker. Double team on Rose. Then kicks to Rose. Parker with the steal. Makes the lead pass. Splitter passes to Leonard to take the lead. Offensive rebound. Splitter kicks to Ginobili. Gets the go-ahead bucket. Ginobili's got 23.
He can't seem to stop anybody inside.
They got to know that if they don't make life tougher in the paint, the opponent is just going to keep going there. I mean, it's not like they'll get tired of all these in-close opportunities.
Boy, right now, it's really tough to stop Rose.
The Spurs have gone 5 of 11 from the field in the fourth quarter. Parker against Rose. Parker outside. Ginobili outside. 5 on the clock. From way back. Snatched up. Splitter. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Nice work to get inside and draw the foul.
Yeah, it's obvious. The defense not going to allow many easy layups. It's going to make you earn it from the line.
Daniel Green. He's checked in for Manu Ginobili.
Well, despite tying things up, he's still shaking his head, knowing he could have given them the lead.
Rose kicks it to Noah. Cruiser. Outside Dang. There's the triple. Bullseye!
Came through there with a key basket.
Yeah, that was huge. Stepping up when it matters most.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over. They trail by 3. 11 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Guys, what do you think?
Well, they've got 2 options here. They can go for the 3 and the tie, or the quick 2 and the foul.
I like the idea of going for the quick 2. Take it to the rim, and that wouldn't be a bad way to approach this situation.
And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time.
You know, the tension could not be any higher right now. He looked like he was shooting free throws in practice. Just a cool customer. That's right. No other option but to foul and hope for some misses.
Yep, you got to extend the game here. Try to keep that clock from moving.
First free throw is good, and that will put them up by 2. So he gets them both, and it's a 3-point game.
Boy, that's huge. Big foul shots to get them a 3-point lead.
San Antonio calls timeout. They're down by 3. 7 seconds left to play in the final quarter. What do you think, guys?
Well, down 3, you don't necessarily have to go for the 3. You could go for the quick bucket and then the foul.
I'm not sure. I mean, in this situation, I think they should look for the 3, Steve. I mean, try to tie this thing up. You've got 3-point shooters. Let it fly.
So the first one drops, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. Second one is good. Getting both at the line, and it's a 5-point game.
Some clutch free throws to close it out.
It's Ginobili outside. Can't connect. And so it's Chicago winning this one. They can't.